Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Families Fly Free podcast. I am Lynn Metler, and today I have got another travel rewards success story for you. So I've invited Amanda Sanfilippo to join us today to share with you her travel rewards journey and some of the best tips and things that they have learned so far. So Amanda and her family are Families Fly Free members, and they are in their second year of membership. So they're officially VIP members. So welcome, Amanda.
You?
So will you start us off by just sharing a little bit about your family and where you live and how you guys like to travel?
Sure. So we're a family of four. My husband and I have two teenage daughters. We are in Franklin, Tennessee. We actually got into this because we set a goal. Well, I set a goal because I love to travel back in 2017 that I wanted to try to see all 50 states with our girls before they graduate high school. I feel like I love travel so much. I feel like there will be different seasons of travel in life, but the season that
Sure.
we're in right now is really just trying to see the country.
So how have you done so far on your goal?
We are currently at 35 states,
It's
and
pretty
I
good.
really wish I'd known about this sooner.
And that you've got how many more years before they graduate?
We're both freshmen in high school, so
Oh,
we've got 3.5 years. I've got it plotted out already, so
really?
I
That's
do.
amazing.
I love planning. It's kind of like traveling twice. So
Right. Good. Yeah, I'm not a good great planner, but we have folks in Families Fly Free who are, like Cami on our team, right?
yes.
He's our planner. Okay, will you tell us kind of how you got started with travel rewards and kind of how you happened upon this to start with?
Sure. So I'm the opposite of you. I didn't really know much about travel rewards at all. My forte was finding cool things to do, places to go, how to map out itineraries, that kind of thing. The only thing we were really doing rewards wise was we just had a credit card. We put all of our expenses on it, pay it off each month, so we didn't accrue any interest or anything like that. And then we just, once a year when we'd plan our trip for the summer or something, we would cash out the points and then put that money toward the trips. And especially as the trips were a little bit more centralized to where we were, that was working for us. It was pretty much covering our expenses. But once we got to where we were really needing to fly because my husband's a small business owner and he's so, self-employed, and his thing is, if I'm not working, then I'm unemployed. So,
Yes, yes,
so
that's
we
the rub with owning your own business, right?
right, right.
You work
So
on
it's
it
like
all the time. Mhm.
jump in an RV and go somewhere for 2 months. We've got to really, like, the most we can really do is like 9 or 10 days at a time because of his work schedule. So yeah, we just use that cash from the credit card to pay it off. But yeah, once we got to where we had to fly places, there was no way that was going to cover it. So a friend of mine who's actually a mutual friend of yours, we were on a girls trip and she mentioned Families Fly Free. And I looked it up, and um, at first I was hesitant, but knowing that she knew you and she's one of my best friends. So I think just having that trust factor of, I know this isn't some internet scam,
Right. Yes.
So, having that personal referral from her kind of made me pitch it to my husband as an investment and stuff like that. That took some doing. That's just kind of how it goes for us. I'm the big ideas and he's all the nuts and bolts. So,
Mhm.
at least on the budget side of things. But yeah, that's kind of how we got started. And
So had you done any travel rewards prior to joining Families Fly Free?
other than just cashing out the points on our one card, no, none at
Was
all.
that was that a cashback card you were using?
Uh, I don't even remember what card it was. It was some Citibank MasterCard something or other. And I mean, I think it was like 1 point per dollar kind of thing. And then I don't know if it was less than that when you cashed it out for points. He kind of handled all the budget side of things. And I'd just say, hey, how much do we have? And then I'd try to plan the trip according to the budget.
So let's like, how much do you have now that you understand the right cards to use and in the right order compared with, I mean, you don't have to give us exact numbers, but compared with what you were doing before?
Oh, it's completely different. But now I feel like I actually have tools to make the ideas happen without having to, because there's no, I mean, before, we'd maybe have like a couple thousand or something to work with. And if you're
Okay.
just, if you're going somewhere where you can drive and it's close by, I mean, I'm really good at finding deals. So, I could make it work. But when you've got to fly to the other side of the country, like, you
Right.
could spend that in airfare.
Yeah.
So, or pretty close to it. So now, I mean, I did create my sheet on what I saved from last year with Families Fly Free, and it's more than 2,000.
Okay. Well, let's jump into that then. So
Okay.
tell us what you did and how much you saved.
Okay. So last year we ended up doing 3 trips instead of just the one because, 2020 we just we lost some ground there, like everybody did. So last year we flew to California and did Yosemite National Park. That was a quick trip. It was only 4 days, 2 days in
Wow.
the park.
And that was doable. I'm
It
just
was
asking.
doable.
Yeah. That's
It
one
was
we
doable.
haven't done yet. So
Yeah, yeah. So it was. I mean, it was. You gotta. I like to go on trips now, unless I'm just planning hey, we're just gonna go veg at the beach. I really like, I wanna get in there and see all the things and take all the hikes. We tend to hike like 10 miles a day when we do stuff like that. So,
awesome.
my kids are used to it. They're
Yeah.
troopers, so they love it. So yeah, we flew, so that was Nashville to Oakland and back. That was all covered with points. And then in the summer, we did kind of a little around Lake Michigan trip. So we flew into Chicago and hit Chicago, went up to Wisconsin, and then took an auto ferry across Lake Michigan to Michigan, and did Michigan, and then we actually hopped over to Niagara Falls and went into Canada and flew out of. We drove back down to Cleveland because we wanted a direct flight back to Nashville. So
That's a
those
great trip.
spots were covered, and then where we stayed, we actually all of our hotels were covered for that trip as well because I was able to book Hyatts, and our card transfers points. The card that we were using predominantly then transfers to Southwest and Hyatt. So that was awesome because that whole trip was covered by points other than like excursions and stuff like that.
Sure. Hmm.
So, and then well, I guess in September, it wasn't over break, but in September, we flew to Nevada and did the Nevada side of Lake Tahoe. And that was another short little 4 day, travel, spend a couple days on the lake and then travel back on the fourth day.
Hmm.
So, and those flights were all covered as well to Reno from Nashville and back.
Was
So,
I always look at Reno and it's always more points than, I don't know, maybe it's just from Indianapolis, but than most other places that I look. I don't know why, but
yeah, I don't know. I was able to just kind of watch. And because I booked with points, I was able to keep an eye out. And when prices would drop, then I could, go in there and do something about it instead of just being
get your
like,
points back.
"Darn,
Yeah.
I booked in cash."
Right. Yes. Yes. Always booking points, everyone. That's what we're saying here. Because yeah, if the price goes down and you booked in cash, you get a travel credit, which is the pain in the butt. So
Yes. Yeah. I'd get so excited. I'd be like, the price dropped this many points. And I called, and my husband's like, that's great, babe. Like, it's saving you money.
right. It means more trips that you can take on those points that you saved. So
Exactly. Because we never, I mean, let's see, let me look on my spreadsheet here. Just the flights alone. I mean, last year, so taking away our membership fee, we did end up buying some Southwest points from the get go because our card bonuses hadn't kicked in yet and I needed to go ahead and book. But even subtracting all of that credit card fees and stuff like the annual fees, we still saved $3,500 last year on those 3 trips. So, I mean, we couldn't have made 3 separate trips that involved flying last year if it hadn't been for the points, for sure, especially the 2 trips out west because those were expensive.
Yeah, and I that's amazing you were able to cover the hotels on the Midwest trip
Mhm.
also, that you had enough points to do that. And let's just stop there and say, like, sometimes you do need to buy points at the get-go, like we did also when we started this in 2015, because you don't have any points at the beginning. If you're brand new to this, like you were and I was too, and that can be a way that you can get yourself started. And we show you in the membership the best way to do that and when to buy the points so you pay the least for them. But sometimes you need to do that to get the ball rolling, or at least to, like, maybe you have some points, but you need to top it off a little bit to cover the flight. So I don't think I've ever talked about that before. So I think I just wanted to highlight that. But
Yeah.
once you get rolling, then you shouldn't need to buy any more points.
Yeah, exactly. And it worked out because, it just gave us the Southwest points, or excuse me, the credit card points eventually kicked in. And then that's where I was just covering hotels with them at that point, even though I'd already booked the flights. I was able to take the big points dump that I got from the card bonuses and book all those hotels and things like that. So,
And
so
did you
it's
say you've saved some this year yet?
Yeah, I've already booked 2 trips for this year. So in May, we're going to do a Southwest loop. So we'll fly into Denver and then drive down through New Mexico up to Utah and then down to Arizona and fly out of Phoenix. So I've already booked all of those. And let's see, I think right now, just from flights to Denver, back home from Phoenix, and then hotels in Colorado, a hotel in Colorado, and then our second trip is actually going to be to Alaska. That's kind of a different ball game since Southwest doesn't fly there. But I did book a Hyatt in Anchorage there, so we've already saved $2,000 um, this year just booking those flights and then the other hotels using points. So, and then I got a different card that will help us. I got the Venture X. So we're working towards building up points to pay for our Alaska um, flights as well. So by the time that kicks in, that'll easily be another, based on the prices I'm looking at, that'll easily be another $2,500, maybe more.
And did you back out the renewal fee out of that for families fly free, or
Good.
yeah, so
Yeah,
that's what
and all the
then.
card fees too, and all of our credit card fees. So everything that has cost us to keep doing this so far, that is included in that spreadsheet.
So
So
what does your husband think now?
he definitely sees the value of the
Yeah.
investment. I mean, travel will always be more important to me than it is to him. He's a
Uh-huh.
homebody, so he loves that we go and make memories with our family. But you know, um, yeah, he's definitely realizing with his financial mind, like, oh wow, this is legit. Like, it's really
Yeah.
saving us a lot of money.
Right. Right. Awesome.
So yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Families Fly Free. Can you share just some things that, what are your favorite things about the membership?
I think, as you kind of touched on before, just the detail work of doing all of that research for what cards to use and making it specific to our family. It wasn't just like a one size fits all kind of thing. So, having specific guidance to get specific cards in what order, making sure you hit a minimum spend at the right time so you get your companion pass for the most amount of time possible. All of that just would have taken so long for for me to go through and research all of that on my own. And again, I assume anything I'm looking at on the internet has a bias. So people are, trying to sell me their card because their perks are the best.
Mhm.
And you know what I'm saying? So to have people who have done this and and say, you can say, this is what I've done, this is what I've saved, this is how I did it. You have a duplicatable process that I can then follow those steps. And it makes that big idea a lot more approachable to be able to have all of those steps outlined for us. So I think that's for sure my number one is just having all of that laid out where I can just
Having the
follow.
system and that personalized to you.
Yes, and then I can spend my time doing the fun part that I
The
enjoy,
planning.
which is planning planning the actual trips.
Yes.
So you did the part I don't like doing. Well,
Perfect.
so
So is there anything that surprised you about the membership that you didn't expect?
um I wasn't really expecting I hope this is on topic, but one of the things that I did based on a webinar of yours that I watched was I booked an annual travel insurance plan
Mhm.
through, I don't know how you say it. Is it
Oh,
Allianz?
Allianz, I think. Yeah.
This sounds French or something.
I know. I think
So
that's what it is.
I booked through them
Uh-huh. See that
and did
company.
the annual one because we had 3 trips last year. So it made sense to just do an annual policy as opposed to individual trips. And we needed them. So they paid
Good.
out 4 times as much as I paid for them because we had an emergency room visit on one trip and we had a car issue on another trip. So if you ever go to Sand Harbor in Nevada on Lake Tahoe, do not accidentally go in the exit because they have tire spikes. They take their exits very seriously.
That's funny. I see those and I think I could totally have missed that or, like
They
run over
did.
that myself. Mhm.
So, but I mean, I was shocked at how easy it was to work with them. We had checks in the mail between 1 and 2 weeks after we filed the claim. And I mean, I had worked with a travel insurance company in the past, and it was horrific where we had to make a
Mm.
claim for missed flights. And I think I had to fight for 3 months to get our claim. And this was just like done. And I'm like, What? Really?" So, so I wasn't expecting to even, that wasn't even on my mind to think like, oh, but it was such a useful tip. And then, obviously it really worked out in our favor. So,
Yes. I think it's helped a lot of our members. And like you said, and I worked them, it's been quite a while since I had to file a claim, but they were easy to work with then. And then we've had many members with the same experience. So we can personally say they are good to work with.
and again, like I could go online and look at squaremouth.com, which is what I always did before. And then I'm going
Wow.
through looking, trying to see, okay, this company has 5 stars or 4 stars or whatever, and matching it up with the price. And is it going to be a good experience? So, but to have that information where, Families Fly Free has that experience collectively within its members as well as your own personal experience. It was just nice to just go, okay, cool. Then I'll just try that one. You know?
Yes.
No, it takes the guesswork out of it. So that was helpful.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you've touched on here a couple times just the value of a personal referral, right? That's how you ended up in Families Fly Free to start with because someone else had a personal experience with it. And then here, now that you're in there, you can take our personal experience. And I think that's one of the biggest values of membership is the personal experience of the other members,
Mhm.
and how well that's shared in our community and just people sharing tips and what's worked for them and not worked for them. Cause like you've been a lot of places I haven't been everywhere. And so we need everyone to collectively share, like we just went to this place and we recommend that. And we've even like Allianz. We've even created an area of the membership where people can then report what experience they had and how long it took them to get their check and whatever. So you can kind of look at that too as you're deciding if you want to get that, just to see what exact experiences other people have had. So,
Yes,
do you
absolutely.
use any of the other tools like the webinars or the community? Or I know you
Yeah,
mentioned our spreadsheets you used, but
yes. I have watched several webinars. Those are, trying to find 40 to 50 minutes at a time where I can sit down and do that is challenging. But I've enjoyed, especially some of the ones talking about some of the all-inclusive Hyatts and whatnot. I'm hoping to get to try some of those out soon. And I do really appreciate that I can get on to the community and just throw a question out there and have people respond. Both families fly free, staff members, and also just the rest of the community kind of putting in their 2 cents. It's nice to be able to just get on there with people who all kind of have the same overarching goals and be able to just kind of tap into their collective experience for sure.
Well, and like I like that too, that we have the same goals, and I find a lot that with couples or whatever, like one is usually really into it, right, and the other one isn't, and so this kind of gives you a place to go where other people are really into this
I,
too. If you don't have anyone to share it with, I hear that a lot.
yeah,
So we can all get excited for you when you saved, you got 9,000 points put back in your account. We all appreciate that. Whereas the rest of your family might be like, whatever, mom, or whatever.
we can be out together.
Yes. So I love that perk. But
Yes.
okay. So would you recommend families fly free? And I guess what would you have gone back and told yourself when you were like, is this an internet scam? Right.
I would recommend it. I have recommended it, and I think that's working out. So
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
got
You just had someone you recommended to join. So and we love
so
it when our members do that. That's the best kind of new members.
I think I would tell myself not to let the initial membership fee cause too much sticker shock, because I think that at first I was like, "Whoo, that's okay. Let me sit down for a minute." That's not a small amount of money, but I think looking back, when I can look at all of the things I subtracted out of it from last year, and we still saved $3,500. Like, wow, that's amazing. And then, going into our second year, the membership fee is a fraction of that cost. So, you're automatically, I mean, in my mind, I'm just kind of automatically in the black because, by the time I booked a couple flights, it's done. So
Right.
it's already paid for itself before we even made it out of January. So, and I do think that the ongoing membership is really beneficial. So I think that, it's not like a one and done kind of thing where you get the system and then you're like, cool, I'm set. Like I really foresee myself utilizing that community hub and being able to email and ask for advice and get those responses. I think that's invaluable. So
So that's why you decided to remain a member.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it definitely has ongoing value. So, and I have a lot of places I want to see. So, not just here, eventually, Europe, and I'm sure we're going to want to do Disney trips at some point and stuff like that. So, again, if I can go in and save myself a lot of time by saying, hey, tell me what to do here. you know?
Right. Or we already have webinars about wherever it is you're going. Then you can look
Right.
at those webinars or listen to them or whatever when you're ready.
Exactly. It's all there. There's so much information. There's no way you can't just sit and take it all in at one time. So, it's just,
You wouldn't want to try to do that.
no, I mean, I might try. That would be something I would do, but then I just go, and like shut down. So I think just knowing that it's there, whatever season we're in, wherever we're trying to go, I know I can go and still utilize that on the main hub and everything. And it's just all there when I need it.
Yeah. I just had a member tell me that they're going to Miami. And so she's like, so I'm going to get my husband and my son situated on the beach, and then I'm going to listen to the webinars all day.
Ah, that's
I was like,
hilarious.
I think I'd rather sit at the beach. She's like, no, I want some uninterrupted time. There's a bunch that I've wanted to listen to. Or
Oh, that's
so
funny.
that's
I love it.
all right. Can you share a travel tip with everyone?
A travel tip. Okay. I mean, and can this be anything?
Yeah, anything about travel. Doesn't have to be travel rewards. No.
Okay. My my thing, okay, for flying specifically, I'm the queen of carry-on. I hate checking bags. I've had so many of them lost in the past. So I think, and I think there are resources on the website even for packing tips and stuff like that. But I would say if you can pack, and you can, you just, you have to be resourceful. But if you can just do everything and carry on, that's kind of my go-to. So I've gone to India for a
Wow.
couple with a backpack and didn't do laundry. I just packed.
You didn't do laundry?
It was warm, so, I didn't have big coats or anything like that, but, it's, yeah, I like to travel light because I like to be able to just go and not
Yeah.
be, I don't like to get caught up in red tape or just, I don't know. If I'm having to wait and they've lost my bag, then I got to figure it out, drives me nuts. I just want to get there and go and have all the fun. So I really like to streamline as much as possible when it comes to, and I mean, when you have kids, granted, my kids are teens, it's not like baby gear, but I'm passing that wisdom on to them. So
Yeah.
this is how you pack a bag. So,
We need you to come explain that in Families Fly Free because how you packed a bag for multiple weeks to India, I'm intrigued. I could not do that. There's no way. We have become fans of the carry-on only, but
Mhm.
that's just been in the last couple years.
Mhm.
But I do love it because you just don't have. There's no checking in. You just get your bag and get off the plane and off you go, and no worry. And I don't even mind carrying it with me through the airport. I thought that would be a problem, but as
Yes.
long as you have a good bag with good wheels, it's fine.
And the wheels are important because I did do the backpack thing for a long time. And when we went to Hawaii, pre-families fly free, fist to the sky, uh, we were on two different airlines. So we had to haul it from one terminal to the other in LA. So I had a huge backpack on my back, my smaller backpack on my front. I looked like a teenage mutant ninja turtle. And we're hoofing it through the airport, running as fast as we can because our first flight was delayed. And we literally watched them close the door to our flight as we, panted our way up to the desk and we missed it. So
Oh,
that's the bad experience with the travel insurance thing. But I'm running the whole time, like, why do I not have wheels? What was I thinking?
yeah. Yep. And you do want, yeah, good quality wheels that can make it through a lot, streets and I don't know, cobblestones in Europe and all of that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. It's worth the investment. Yeah. Some
agreed.
things are just worth paying a little more to get a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Good tip. Okay, so I think you've already shared where you're going next. I always like to ask that, but anything else, any final words you want to share with folks about travel rewards or families fly free or
I just think that for anybody who genuinely wants to travel on a regular basis, there's no better way to make that happen. I mean, we're just a normal everyday family with a normal everyday income, and just knowing that we don't have to just be dripping with money to be able to go and do this. And not even just, I mean, I'm looking forward to, like you're talking about, going to Europe and whatnot, being able to do that and make it affordable for just an average American household is huge. So anybody who loves to travel, I think, could benefit from this for sure, regardless of whether it's domestic or international, Caribbean, whatever.
yeah,
So
and that is what our goal is here at Families Fly Free is to show the average American household how they can travel wherever they want affordably in relatively short order. So I think you're a great example.
And I think, and like, there's investments that pay out in different ways. So when I make picture books for each year, the trips that we've taken, because, my kids are kids and I don't remember what I did when I was 14 years old. So I want to have those memories and everything. But, we are making a financial investment to do this, but these are the things that we still talk about, the stories from these trips we talk about, we laugh about, even when we've had things go wrong, like those are the ones that we still crack up about now.
You're right. Like those are the things you remember for
I'm
sure.
asking you where not to go in Arkansas. I got you covered. So,
Okay, noted.
And I think it's been cool too because, uh, I think when you're doing something like 50 states, there are a lot of places that you would not normally plan a vacation to. So I've never in my life thought, where I'm going to go? Missouri. Like, no offense to anyone in Missouri or
Branson,
or North Dakota or
St.
what,
Louis.
like it's not, but the thing is there's amazing stuff in every single state, but it just kind of forces you to find those hidden gems. And I think that, having an opportunity to have the financial side of it covered really just kind of opens the field for creativity and being able to spend more money on really amazing excursions or something. Um, yeah, it just makes it so much more flexible. You can have experiences that you wouldn't otherwise have been able to have if you were just having to cash flow everything out of pocket. So it really broadens the scope of what you're able to do.
Yeah, it makes your trips that you're taking, you can do even more special things on those trips than you would have ordinarily if you had to, like you said, spend all your money on airfare and hotels.
Getting there and sleeping, right?
Yes. Yes.
I want to
Yeah.
spend the money on the fun stuff. So
That's right. That's why you're going to see the destination. Better to spend it all there.
right. Absolutely. So
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and inspiring others, I'm sure. And we're glad to have you as a Families Fly Free member. So, thanks everyone for joining us for today's episode, and we will catch you next week.